Camera's gone?
Yep.
You know, I just got well, this was yesterday, but I got a meme sent to, I'm like in a group chat with my aunt and my dad, and I got sent a meme, and it's,
Family group chat memes?
how do you beat up Olympia? You pancit. Pancit being another Filipino dish. Anyways, welcome to Benched.
Didn't get it, because
I'm sorry. I didn't need to tell you.
it's okay. So we had an awkward start this morning. It's usually like start around probably like 9:30. It's almost 12. This Florida weather just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You guys can't really see right now because of the way I have it angled, but it's just like once it hits about August, September, you're straight into hurricane season, and that just means that like every day there's like a 50-50 chance it's going to rain.
Mm-hmm.
And every spot that we went to either had construction or it would like start raining, or it looked like it was going to rain soon, and I was worried about just like being mid-recording.
Mm-hmm.
The equipment would be fine, but it would be just a little visually and auditorily jarring, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but we finally made it. We're in a very indescript spot, I guess, just like
What do you mean? I see
a
the
field.
No. I just start.
What do you mean? We're right next to
blur.
the fucking. We're right next to the fucking Statue of Liberty. Hey. What the fuck you mean indescript? But yeah, we're coming off a weekend full of
Boy, what a weekend it was.
full of just intoxication and
Inebriation. And,
bad decisions.
bad decisions.
Yours was a little more wild than mine, so I guess we'll save yours for a second.
Sure, yeah, no, that's fine.
I simply just went to like a house party and drank a little too much, and I don't know. I hate being drunk because I always figure out shit after I drink. Like,
Figure out shit. What do you mean?
like I will be having the time of my life, right? Like I will be having a great ass time.
Good start.
And then afterwards, I figure out that like, oh, this happened and this happened and this happened and this happened, and all this stuff that happened right in front of me, and I just never even picked up on it. Like people will be beefing. There's like weird tension. People getting into arguments. Situations going down.
Honestly, you're in the best position to be in. Just oblivious to it all, having fun.
It's like it's a blessing and a curse because it's like it's good because then I can enjoy the night.
Mm-hmm.
But then afterwards, I always kind of have this like gut feeling, especially with certain situations, more that I'm just like, I wish I would have known so that I could have been more involved or like tried to step in at points if it was like weird beef and stuff.
Intervene.
Yeah. I wish I could have been there to intervene, basically. And I always hate figuring out something happened with like people I know and realizing like, oh, I could have done something, but I was like too busy being drunk.
Yeah.
And it just, yeah, there's a level of guilt attached, but there's also just like a level of frustration. I don't know. Damn, I feel like I sound like mad like a downer right now, but I don't know. I'm just not like a big party guy. So like when I go to house parties, like I literally look like the where the hose at meme. Like I literally said that. Like I think Meg was off doing something, and I was talking to some of her friends, and I was like, because we were all in this group of just like people who didn't know what to do at this party. There were just like hella people there that know what to do. And I made the joke to them like, look, I'm trying to be social. Ha ha ha. I'm going to like talk to somebody. They didn't reply, and then I just turned back to them and give them like a gym stare, you know, like a. Like,
looks off at the
it's
camera.
literally the where's the hose at me.
Jesus Christ.
Because I just like, I'm in the middle of this party and I just like, I can't talk to anybody. I'm so anti, like, or not anti-social, but I'm just awkward.
Was that before you got loose and got drunk, or even then?
That was when I was loose, but I was able to laugh it off. Was the
That's
point.
funny as
Yeah,
fuck.
I was able to
Even-
just like, I was able to acknowledge it and then just be like, this is funny. Like, it's just so tragic.
If I was there, I would be like, this fucking guy's so lame.
Or it's like the other meme where like you're sitting in the corner and it's like, these people don't know I have a podcast.
Thank God.
These people don't know that I have a YouTube channel with 45 subscribers.
Hey, don't sell yourself short.
It's
We're at,
46.
46 now, yeah.
Nah, but by the way, go ahead and subscribe to the Colin and Devin channel.
Please.
Yo, please. And I'm
Make it
actually
sound that desperate.
I'm gonna wait until after this story to also tie in something else. But
Oh, interesting.
then yeah, I mean that basically was my weekend. I woke up the next morning, hating myself for it, and I went and painted my dad's house the next day.
Sick.
Yeah. I really was worried that I was going to be like super hungover and then like want to kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't too bad. I generally don't get that hungover. So it's kind of nice.
Mm.
I can just kind of wake up the next day and get on with my day sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Um,
Specifically at Margaritaville, I remember. Yeah, that's an exception.
I think that was because not only was I hungover, to give some context. So when we were at Margaritaville, we were like binge drinking because it was 4th of July weekend, and we're all in this hotel room. It's us and a group of friends, and we're up drinking till like 2 a.m., 2 or 3 a.m.
Mind you, they were mostly strangers to me up until that point.
Yeah. And Devin, you know, he's having a blast with them. Like, he's making friends and all this kind of shit. And once I hit like 2 a.m., 3 a.m., I'm like, okay, this is it. I'm done. They wanted to like pull the all-nighter and then wake up for the sunrise because we're on the beach, you know, East Coast, all that. You can watch
All
the
we gotta
sunrise.
do is walk out of the hotel and we're right there, yeah.
I was not fucking with it. I was so tired. And I was like, I'm not going to wake up that early.
Yeah.
And the motherfuckers that we were with were so fucking obnoxious about it.
So adamant.
Yeah, like, I know it wasn't going to kill me to go out or whatever. But when I woke up, like, I wanted to smack every motherfucker that was trying to get me to wake up. Because they legit just were on repeat. Like, no, come on, you got to go. Are you a pussy? Are you a pussy? What are you, a pussy? Come on. We got to go watch the sunrise, you pussy.
I was just in the background, like, yeah.
Yeah, you dumb little bitch.
Yeah, get him.
And then, yeah, you were like, I wouldn't take that, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
I was instigating
I think
the
you
shit out of
literally
that.
did the, like, I wouldn't take that
Damn.
disrespect. And
Well, you gonna prove him right?
yeah,
You're gonna
and
prove him wrong.
I was like, I was so pissed. So I get up and I go to the beach and I look like a 5-year-old that has to like go grocery shopping.
Yeah.
I was just like fucking like, okay, cool, I guess. We
Your
saw the
body
sun.
language was fucking amazing.
Yeah, like cool. We see the sunrise. I'm gonna go back to bed now.
Yeah.
I think the other thing is like since we live in Jax, like I've seen this 30 times. It's like, yeah, it's cool we get to wake up and go see. Like I don't need to see it that day, like the day that I was hungover. But yeah, I will say I am a cranky motherfucker, and that was just one of those days where it was the wrong time. It's the wrong one on the wrong day.
Well, luckily, this past weekend, going to paint your dad's house wasn't bad, right?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Good to hear.
So how was your weekend?
Oh man. So I went to Orlando with a group of friends because it was another friend's birthday who goes to UCF. So shout out to you, Hannah. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Anna.
It was a fun time. I spent the weekend there in her her apartment, and it was 2 days of drinking. The first what was it? I guess the Friday was just the group, the small group that we had that was staying. Saturday was the party, into Sunday, and so and so. So, man, a lot of substances.
Yeah.
Not anything crazy. It was
Just a lot of-
it was just weed and alcohol.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Nah, you were talking about it, and I thought you sounded like an animal.
Mostly because I don't really do it all that much.
Yeah.
There are exceptions, like Margaritaville, like this past weekend. And I'm going to take full advantage,
Yeah.
you know? So, I want to get into Saturday more, because Friday was just a fun, more casual night. But
Yeah.
Saturday, when people started showing up and stuff, it was... it was 9 or 10 p.m. and I was already a little gone.
Damn.
Like, some perspective, we played cup pong, like, right in the middle of the living room for a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, naturally, there were a few spills, water got on the ground a few times, and I was on the floor diving for the balls, just like slipping and sliding. And
Man took it serious.
I took it serious. So when the table eventually moved because it was in front of the TV, people were playing Smash. The table got rearranged. People were playing Smash, and I needed to walk through to get to the balcony one time. So I army crawled across the floor to get around so I'm not blocking the TV, being the extra little piece of shit that I am.
Yeah.
And it was just as wet and sticky as the first time around. But boy, the fresh air was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a moment where I was out on the porch. I told you this already, but I felt like we could both relate to this.
Mm-hmm.
I needed the fresh air, so I get out there. There's a group of 4 already out there. Group of 4 girls. One of them I happen to already know from high school, and so I needed to chill. They let me chill with them, and the girl I know says, "Yo, how the fuck is the podcast going?" And then she's like, yo, this guy, my friend, he has a podcast. And I'm like 2 steps behind, so I'm just like, oh, yeah, I do. Wait, yeah, I do.
Yeah. No, like when you said that you mentioned it, and we kind of had a little discussion about that and how, like, that is the worst thing about doing this whole thing is, like, the connotation of people telling others, like, that you have a podcast.
I know.
Because, you know, for good reason, there is a stigma to hearing, like, oh, this dude has a podcast.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of, you know, Joe Rogan fanboys or Jordan Peterson fanboys or whatever, and
A lot of alphas out there.
yeah, it's either it's either like pseudo intellectual dude bros who, you know,
Want to
like,
find a smart way to hate women.
yeah, well, I was gonna say, like, it's one, like, the the blatant like misogyny podcast, like a Fresh and Fit or something like that. But then there's also, like I was saying about like the Jordan Peterson thing, where it's like you hide under this guise of like, oh, like I love philosophy and I just love talking about like the issues in society, but like in an intellectual way, like not in an argumentative way, but just having conversations. And people who subscribe to that like idea, or like podcasters that kind of follow that guideline, um, they will say like, "Oh, I want to start a podcast. Oh, I want to start a podcast."
Mm-hmm.
And that's the kind of podcast that they're trying to create.
But
So when people say like, "Oh, hey, this guy has a podcast," like immediately, I always will think the same thing. I'll be like, "Oh, like he has a podcast."
yeah,
Like,
surrounded by strangers. Yeah.
so my problem was like I've had this happen a few times too, where like when I was working, just a retail job, I had like a friend of mine come in with like some of his buddies, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like this guy has a podcast, by the way. You should go listen to it." And I'm like, I appreciate what he was trying to do for me, but
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, I'm at my fucking job.
Yeah.
And I don't want people like hearing like, "Oh, this guy has a podcast."
Yeah.
If one of my coworkers heard that, I think I would have killed myself
On the spot.
at that job. Yeah, like on the spot, jump out in front of the pickup order cars.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
it's it especially like with me, I feel like, because
I was gonna mention that.
the people that I will hang around, like I was pointing out that sometimes I'll have people ask me like, "Oh, hey, like you used to have this podcast. Like I've always wanted to do that. I always wanted to do that. Like I think that would be so cool to like talk about fucking like philosophy or something, like something real, you know what I mean?"
And then you just know they haven't listened to anything we
Yeah,
said.
they bring it up as a way to segue into like, yeah, I want to do that too. Like, do you have any tips, or like, is there anything you can help me out with? And it's such a frustrating thing, and I'm not trying to toot our own horn because we only have 85 subscribers, so this is like very friend group based. But it is one of those things where like when people see that you're doing something and like putting a lot of effort into it, I think that they are kind of, it's become more apparent like who is just trying to like ask about that so that they can get some pointers. But again, a lot of these people fit into that crowd of podcasters that I was touching on.
That you're trying to distance yourself from.
And I feel like the problem is I look like them.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. When you see me as just like a nondescript, just like unseasoned white dude, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing cool about me. I grow out the beard and I got like the weird curls and shit. Like, I look like I could be in a frat. And I think that when people tell somebody in front of other people, like, "Oh, he has a podcast,"
Yeah.
my immediate thought is like, "Oh no, they think something's up."
Mm-hmm.
Like they're immediately gonna think that like I beat my girlfriend or something.
Okay. Okay.
So like, it's just like it's not like the worst problem in the world, but it is like a cringe moment. Like, it's one of those things where like you want to be like proud of something that you do, but when you go to explain it to other people, I just immediately am like, ugh, I don't like talking about it.
Right. Now I will say, your experience being asked that versus mine is kind of like the polar opposite. I've gotten really lucky, because majority of the people who bring up the fact that I have a podcast or ask me about it have been women. So I think I'm in better company in that sense.
Yeah.
And on the occasion where it has been like a dude bro. And you mentioned like they're always like in it to ask for not help per se, but like pointers, as you said. And I always want to just be like, what is stopping you from doing it? Like,
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah.
No Nike, just do it. Just like we started with voice memos on our phone.
Yeah.
And we did it we have the most inconvenient gimmick ever that you don't even need. You don't need to record it like on video either.
Yeah.
Podcasts are meant to be like
Audio based.
audio based.
And, the voice memos thing isn't ideal. Like, obviously, you should work on getting, like, audio equipment first, try to set that up.
Yeah.
But even today, we're still recording on GarageBand on my iPad.
Right.
Like,
it irks me because they talk so much about doing it, and for people who preach philosophy so much and like working hard, that's a whole lot of talk.
Yeah.
When it's not going into a mic and it's going into my ears.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just, like you said, it's a lot of, yeah, I wish I could do it. I wish I could do it.
It's all just very empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird because I used to feel like almost appreciated in that sense. Like, I felt like, okay, people are like interested in what we're doing, what we're talking about.
Actually, I will backtrack a little bit because it's probably not the best to encourage them in that way. I'm more just like teasing it, but I really don't want to have them putting those ideologies and their opinions out there to the extent that they.
Well, the thing is, like, I almost try to support it in like a dog whistle kind of sense, where like if you go ahead and do it, do it, put your opinions out there. Like, what's really stopping you? And then when they do it, everybody knows that they have bad opinions. So it's like I don't think there's a problem with that. I think the problem is if they get successful off of it, because then I'll be pissed. But the problem is it's such a ubiquitous space. The like alpha male or like I said, pseudo intellectual podcaster group. It's so what's the word? Concentrated. To the point where like the likelihood of you going out there and saying something profound is really unlikely.
Yeah.
Because everybody has kind of said everything at this point. That's why people like Fresh and Fit do something, because they find a reason to go a step beyond what everybody else is already doing. Like, how do you make misogyny worse? Like they took that. They
somehow
step.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
But
and that's the whole thing with the whole manosphere in general. But like, I feel like your gateway is like Joe Rogan. He's like fairly tame, just centrist, kind of fairly annoying in the sense of like he tries to do the whole like intellectual thing, but then he backs it up with like, but I'm an idiot. I used to like Joe Rogan's stuff. Like, it's entertaining to watch, but it's just after a while it gets draining because he'll talk about things that he doesn't really know about, or like he'll have guests on that don't really know what they're talking about. And that creates the pipeline into the Jordan Petersons and all these other people who seem intelligent or seemed intelligent until you poke through it like, oh, they do that to hide all the bad stuff.
Yeah. I will say, just to get it back on track.
Yeah.
What was on track?
You were on the balcony and they said, oh, this guy's a podcast.
That's right. So they start explaining like.
Oh, no, not a bigoted one, I promise.
No, I don't. Luckily, because she's good people, I could assume they were good people. So she didn't have to explain that mine was anything controversial or something of that sort. But when they started asking me about it, she was like answering for me. She was like, "It's this," because she's drunk too. So it was like, "It's called benched." Him and his friend, that they have a bench. And they bring their bench places. And I was like, yeah, we just kind of...
That is indeed how that works, yeah.
Yeah, we don't really have a set. We have a bench, and we just take it wherever and talk. And it's, like, pretty self-explanatory. And then they're like, oh! And then one of the girls was like, You look like a podcaster. I didn't know how to take that.
Yeah, I feel like that goes back on what you said about like them assuming that, you know, you're good people or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Because that, to me, that just sounds like oh, you look like a podcaster. Like,
Yeah, but then she was like, I mean that as a compliment. Like, you look good. And I was like, oh,
what does that even mean?
yeah.
What's
yeah.
a podcaster that looks good?
That just made me more confused. Yeah.
What's a podcaster that looks good?
Like, there are good people that have podcasts, so I can only assume that that's what she meant. I hope. I think we get too down on ourselves.
Such a weird. That's so vague that it's like painful. Like,
yeah, I think we just get too down on ourselves, being that we're just two dudes. Like, TMG exists and they have a good podcast, except for the Andrew Tate thing that they since backtracked.
Yeah.
Like, Curtis Connor has a podcast. Just putting that out there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Trillionaire mindset.
Mm.
You know,
They'll say something.
It can
shit
work.
Out of character.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Like, you know,
generally speaking, podcasting does not ultimately mean bad, because it really is just a medium.
Mhm.
It's just that the medium can be used for bad things. You know,
yeah.
and
If we were to sum it up, that would be it. Yeah.
and a lot of its press has been those bad things. You know, it's NFTs, right?
Nope. I refuse.
Most of them
What are you gonna say?
lazy and bad.
Oh my god.
There may be a use case, maybe, because we haven't really seen a good example of it yet.
King. He's doing his thing.
But as far as we know, most time you hear NFT in the news cycle, it's because somebody scammed a shit ton of people. So it's one of those things where I get it, because podcasting, like, you think of podcasts, you think of like, oh, like, I know these dudes who like professionally
Talk.
are like professional incels. Their job activities include being bitchless. No, I'm playing. But
bitchless.
it's just one of those things that, like, you kind of have to make the assumption, I think, most of the time, because I do
Being
too.
bitchless was a funny statement, because
Being bitchless.
like back on the balcony, like they were. I am 99% sure they were all gay.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like leaning my head back, just trying to breathe,
Mm-hmm.
and I hear them talking and stuff, and they're like, "Damn, the ratio is crazy right now." And then I butt in because I couldn't help but laugh. I was like, "Yeah, what the fuck, Hannah? It's a goddamn sausage party in there." And they were all antisocial, and I was gonna be like, come on, guys. Anyone wants some fucking fireball or some shit?" I went inside and got myself a fireball shot.
Jesus Christ.
None of them joined, but I did play cup pong with them later, and of course I won. Of course I fucking won. But
We do need to play cup pong.
abso-fucking-lutely, yes, I would love that.
So I'm not good at it.
Abso-fucking-lutely. I don't know that for sure, but I can bet on that. But so I want to talk about the homie Adrian,
Yeah.
because he was there as well. Adrian, about 2-3 hours in, so let's say it's like midnight or so,
Mhm.
11 to midnight, that range. He was absolutely gone. He
Knock the
was
fuck out.
out on the toilet.
He's the shit. He farting.
Goddamn. Like I'm checking on him, like peeking in the bathroom just to make sure he's like not dead.
Yeah.
His girlfriend was there taking care of him. Thank God for you, Kelly. He his eyes rolling back in his head. Like I'm
Damn.
every 15 to 20 minutes, I'm just knocking on the door like, hey, if you need me to get water or something, I got you. And eventually, I had to use the bathroom.
Say, hey man, you throwing up right now? But I got a shit. You trying to move over?
So
Trying to cross stream?
like his head is over the thing, and I just like, and then start straight. Nah.
No, that's crazy. Because imagine he just looks up. He's got that thing.
The view is crazy. What's up, man?
No, I just imagine like him just like so fucking out of it and just being like, what?
Is that a water fountain?
Hey, yo.
But basically,
Fucking sick. I'm sorry, Adrian, if you listen to it.
I'm really sorry, Adrian. But basically, he's sort of, he can't move.
Mm.
So he's just sort of like leaning against the wall. Like, he's leaning against the wall,
Yeah.
facing one way. The toilet is to his right. He doesn't even bother to like turn around or something because I need to go. So I just go while he's essentially like,
Looking away.
not even really that, because he's just kind of like there. So it's like corner of his eye. He could just see my and hear my stream going, and that brought us closer than I ever thought we'd be. And
You guys had to share the bathroom.
yep, because
We went to the bathroom together. Yeah.
Because I like up until I'm loose and stuff, but that's still like such an awkward situation. So I'm in there like, hey buddy, I'm gonna go, okay? I'm about to start.
I'm about to waz.
Yeah, I'm about to waz, like, hey. And I'm just like, oh, here we go. Like giving commentary like, oh,
Should have given him like
almost done, man, almost done.
3, 2, 1. All right, that was the last dribble.
Can you just start doing like a psh real quick? Oh. Again, I can get you water if you like. I'm almost done. Oh. Okay. I'm on the downturn. Oh, never mind. Got a second wind. Oh, you're still just looking. Okay, cool. Damn. Let me know if you want to play around or something. And done. Give it a little shake. You know. Oh, psh, no, I'm gonna dap him up real quick. No, I'm gonna
For anybody wondering, like that was my best impression of like the actual like P stream.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even with the little trail off, you know how like
yeah.
when you usually have it against the back and then it finally has to cut through the water.
Yes.
So it's like for a while it's just like
I tried so hard not to touch the water,
and then it goes.
Yeah. No, it was good attention to detail. I appreciated that.
I just wanted to give everybody the best visual, especially the audio listeners.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really know. Sorry, Adrian, that you couldn't handle it. No. Cause what was I probably took like 8 shots that night. Fuck, what was the name of that drink? It was Hornitos or something. That shit tastes like Expo marker.
Yeah.
You've had it?
Nah, but I've had Tito's, so I'm just imagining Tito's right now.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it's close, but it was a lot of that. Some Captain Morgan, some Fireball, and then 2 Twisteds.
Fireball. Fireball, Malibu, Twisteds, and what's another one?
Simply spiked lemonade. I don't know.
Yes. Fucking. There was like a raspberry pinnacle one time.
Mm.
that I had. Oh my god, like those are all just things that like fuck me up.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do like seltzers and beers and shit, and I'll drink Tito's, but I hate it. I think I took 2 shots of Tito's that weekend, and that's what, like fuck, because it was back to back, and that shit is just foul tasting.
Yeah.
But
We got a complaint from like one of the downstairs neighbors, and
nice.
it was like before midnight too. Like we weren't even.
That means it was a good time.
That means we were an absolute inconvenience. So I apologize.
No apologies. Yeah, we're going crazy.
It was interesting because they left a note, and I can go ahead and read that off. Because I actually shut the fuck up, or we're reporting you guys. You're actually so obnoxious and inconsiderate all the time, from all of your neighbors.
It's funny because that makes it sound like it's more than just that one night, so I don't think it's your fault.
Perhaps.
Mayhaps.
I'm not gonna pretend I wasn't part of the problem, but
Probably, but it sounds like a more systemic issue, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. It was weird because people went down to like, I thought it was to confront them, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
Like I was drunk and stuff, but I was still like in the state of mind to be like, "That's not worth it."
Yeah.
So they went down. They knocked a few times on the door. I guess no one answered, and they were gonna like invite them up or some shit, because it's like 10, 11 p.m. on a Saturday night. Like, what else are you doing?
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
You guys literally shut the fuck up. Hey, bro, do you want to come up and drink or something?
Yeah, like.
You sounded mad lame right now.
Yeah. I don't know. It was a good time, though. It was a good time.
That's good.
Yeah, my friend's car got towed,
Ooh.
so I had to ride back with another person, and I'm still waiting to get my skateboard back.
That's rough.
Yeah.
You're so excited about that penny board.
I really was.
Yeah.
I would have brought it today, honestly. This is a nice area, this nondescript area.
Yeah. This is a really good spot to skate at.
Yeah.
You know who's not gonna be skating anytime soon? Queen Lizzy the Second. Oh, yo, you showing it off the rip? No setup?
Oh, yeah. Shit.
Nice. Let me just get some nice, let me get a nice B-roll shot of this just in case the camera's not picking it up. To everybody who's wondering on audio only, Devin is wearing the craziest t-shirt.
When I got this, the news was still fresh. It was like a day after. And my friend and I, before we made our trip to Orlando, we took a pit stop at a print shop because we had a gift in mind that we wanted to get printed onto a hoodie. So we did that, and along with that, the guy at the print shop was like, "Hey, we can throw in, I'll throw in 2 free shirts if you pick a design off the wall." And honestly, over the weekend, we were kind of mad at the print shop guy for no reason, because he specifically said free shirts if you pick a design off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking at designs, and then we asked him, "Yo, can we do a custom one instead?" And we didn't think about the fact that we asked for a custom one instead and how that factored into the price, because we actually ended up paying for the prints.
Yeah.
But that's besides the point. So we were like, "Yo, I wonder if there are any Queen Elizabeth shirts." There weren't. So we took it into our own hands.
Had to make your own.
We had to make our own. And along with that, we had...
It's still just such a crazy graphic.
I know. Yeah. We had another option in mind. We were going to get Queen Lizzy with waves.
Lizzy with a wave check.
But that one had a watermark, so...
Yeah. I was saying you could have sent me that one and I could have got rid of the watermark.
I know, but like we were in a rush, we had to make it to Orlando because we were already late,
Yeah.
and this wasn't a bad one.
No, I definitely
anyway.
think that one's kind of better, actually.
Yeah. Just kicking rocks for real.
Just kicking rocks on God.
But yeah, I considered wearing this during the party, but I really just dressed like a fucking slut.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, like.
We're talking about that. Like lately, we've both been on a little slutty rampage of outfits. I think it's just hot out, so it's like.
Yeah, that definitely doesn't help. But like this, I wore this without a shirt under it on the Friday. The Saturday, I wore a tank top with some other shit, and then Sunday, I wore the shit to an IHOP. I wore a cropped shirt that was cropped a little high. It was like showing a little bit of stomach and stuff. Like, how could I be so uncouth in an IHOP?
Man, trying to get some IHOP bitches. Man, trying to get some IHOP bitches.
Craziest part, no one was there.
Yeah.
We were the first.
I was gonna say you're probably pulling somebody's
in the corner.
Like the one grandma that's sitting in the other side of the store.
Yeah. Now it was very unlike me. Like 6 months ago, I'd say. Yeah. I don't know. I fuck with the shirt. Queen Lizzy's dead.
Yeah.
Hip hip hooray, am I right?
That's crazy. See, the family, actually, so King Charles now banned Meghan Markle from coming to the funeral. Isn't that crazy, Rob?
Not really. It's about as racist as I expected.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I don't get the whole dick riding for the royal family. Like, if they don't have any government power, and they're just people, like social figures, like they're Kardashians that killed one of their family members and then cast away two others because of racism. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I don't see why I have to care about them. And I don't know. People are treating Queen Elizabeth like she's fucking Betty White, and she's not.
She fucking wishes. Yeah.
And that's not me trying to just shit on dead people because they're dead. It's one of those things where, like, I hear people talk about, like, oh, like, they really do just, like, love their queen over there, and, like, we should do the same thing here, and da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, blind nationalism is not the answer.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the whole point, is that they are blindly, like, nationalist towards this, like, public figure that really doesn't... I mean, for them, they are really just more of a public figure, but at the same time, we complain about, like, Trump dick riders for that reason. Where, like, if Trump died tomorrow, he's a new Jesus figure. Like, his whole cult of fucking, like, supporters are gonna create a religion around him, honestly. Mm-hmm. So this, like, blind worship of just, like, public figures just because, like, I have an Obama t-shirt because I thought it was funny. But, like, as much as I thought Obama was, like, a cool dude, he bombed kids in Syria, and he pushed a lot of, like, Reaganomic-type school laws that only really benefited, like, rich communities. So mm-hmm. There's, like, things that he did that I don't like, or that a lot of people don't like. When he dies, like, I'm going to be like, damn, I kind of liked Obama, other than those things that he did. Yeah. But I'm not going to be like, oh, my God.
Damn.
Obama is dead.
If you excuse the war crimes, he was pretty cool.
Yeah, like, no, like, Queen Elizabeth, like, India, you look at fucking,
Did she
Ireland.
Really shake hands with Hitler? I don't know if that was real.
I don't know about that one.
My phone fell, so.
But, still with the whole Ireland thing, because people were like, oh, well, she didn't actually do any of that, and she donates to a bunch of charities. Jeff Bezos donates to charities for a tax write-off. I'm saying, like, just...
Did Queen Elizabeth shake hands with Hitler?
He's asking Siri.
Film shows Queen Elizabeth giving Nazi salute as a child. That's not what I'm after.
Same thing.
I'm just don't care, nah.
Dog, yeah. Nah, but it's just like I don't know. Again, we're not British, so I don't really have a reason to care because it's just not something that relates to us in any way. But I just didn't think she was that good of a person. The whole Meghan Markle thing, no matter if they're annoying or not, you can't blame or you can't like brush off the blatant like racism. And that's what I hear a lot. It's like, well, Meghan and them were kind of like wrong for something. And I'm like, I don't care if they were. The big issue was just that she was black and they didn't like that. So you can't just ignore that shit.
Yeah.
And also, killing Diana or whatever. But
Or whatever.
or whatever. But yeah,
I will say I'm glad to have witnessed her death for in my lifetime, because I was afraid she would outlive me and I would never get to see the hip hip hoorays.
Yeah.
Because that shit had me floored.
Yeah, that was wild. Just
Hip hip.
hooray!
Like,
hip,
the
hip,
fact that they
hooray.
actually do that. The fact that they actually have guards wearing those fuzzy little stupid hats. Like, they made the emoji into a real thing. Like, ain't that some shit? That's some shit.
I don't know. It's funny because I think that
Tradition is funny like that.
yeah, I was gonna say like there's something to say about like old traditional stuff that like had some level of prestige and whatnot. Like now it feels just so funny. It feels like cosplay.
Yeah.
Like they're pretending to be from a different time period.
Yeah.
It's just so out of touch and old.
they feel like medieval times.
And because they don't really like have much say in government anymore, or as much say in government anymore, like it especially just feels really performative and goofy.
Right.
Like I don't know, it's not like the most offensive thing, or not like offensive, but in terms of just like it's not that cringy to me. Like it didn't throw me off too much. It was funny, but it was one of those things where I'm just like, this is like more weird and like surreal than anything. To see a 4K video of this.
Yeah.
This looks like something that should be in like a movie.
Because when was the last time that happened? Like,
yeah,
you know, it's such a rare occurrence.
3
I'm glad to have
cheers
witnessed
for the new
it.
king.
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip hip.
Hooray!
Hip. They just start getting self-aware like halfway through. Like, damn. Hip hip.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we doing?
It's funny because I think
The Queen's dead. You Brits don't have to speak like that anymore. Speak normal.
speak normal now, and they're like, oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah.
They start.
Blimey.
I know you
Like, no one
guys
says
talk in American accents when you sing. I know you can talk in an American accent normally.
Stop hiding it. She's dead.
No, that's not. But what was I?
It's all just a hive mind.
Basically. But I was more thrown off about the death of PnB Rock, yesterday than I was about Queen Elizabeth.
Mm-hmm. One more thing about Queen Elizabeth. What a fucking inconvenience for her to die either too soon or too long after we fucking recorded last time.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like one of those things where it's in the middle of the week,
mm-hmm.
so we just happen to miss the news, barely.
So, fuck you for making it old news for us by the time this comes out.
This is your fault that you didn't die at a convenient time. Like, that's crazy.
Like, if you didn't really give me a reason to hate you before, like personally,
the racism or the killing, like that.
Personally, I mean. But now you've done it. Now I won't be attending your funeral.
Now we can't make content.
Yeah.
At a good time. Is that how you feel? Like, are you cool with that?
Yeah.
Are you cool with that?
Now I will make it my personal vendetta to never eat a crumpet.
I don't think I ever would anyways.
Yeah. But now I'm going to be aware of it.
You're not going to eat any more beans and toast?
Anymore. I'm not eating beans and toast.
Ever. Yeah, no, but I was more thrown off about the PnB Rock situation.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I never really listened to him, so it was still shocking, of course.
Yeah, it was kind of the feeling that I had like when like Juice World went, where I didn't really listen to him that much. I thought that he had like potential to do something that I liked,
Hmm.
but generally he kind of fit more into his little like niche kind of uh, sound, I guess. I was trying to find a better descriptor word, but like, PnB Rock really kind of did like pop shit, and I think for a while he was just doing a lot of features. But early high school, that was one of those dudes that I listened to all the time because he had Selfish was a big hit, and I think there's like a few other tracks.
Hmm.
And I don't know, it just especially was one of those things that it was just sad because he was young, and again like another
Right.
young like musician and getting taken out. He just
How old was he?
I think he was like 30.
Mm.
It's one of those things where like especially like in rap, like I was thinking about it the other day. It's like think of like old rappers that are like still around.
Yeah.
And like think of like a bunch of rappers that were like big in pop culture over the past like couple of decades. And like think of how many of them are like still alive.
Yeah.
And like that's just like it's wild to think about. You go over like the past few years, a lot of people will like pop up and then like they either get shot or there's like a drug issue or something, and like I don't know, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like dude was just eating chicken. It's at a fucking like Roscoe's.
Yeah.
And
You mentioned the girlfriend posted the location, but it's not likely that had anything to do with it.
yeah, people were trying to say like most likely they just saw him with a chain on or something, but it was a random Redditor, so I don't really know.
Oh.
To me, that says like okay, somebody, she posted the location,
Hmm.
somebody got tipped off.
God, could you imagine how she feels?
Yeah. And that's not her fault. I don't think that and you can always look at that in hindsight and be like, oh, I shouldn't have done this.
Hmm.
But like in reality, that's just like the harsh or that's the harsh relationship that people have to realize about social media. Is just that like if you're out somewhere and you have a big following,
Hmm.
the likelihood of you posting your location and somebody meeting you there with good or bad intentions is a lot higher.
Yeah.
The fan culture was already like that, but now more than ever, like social media kind of makes that information more accessible.
Hmm.
Like when you post like your story and you're out, you
Yeah.
know, just eating food.
It's intimidating to have that target on your back, whether
Yeah.
you expect it or
Yeah.
not.
Like we'll post like where we put the bench each week, and I feel like we, try to post it like after we're done recording
Yeah.
for that reason.
Hmm.
Because it's scary, the thought that like, oh hey, like if we try to invite a bunch of people out here, who's to say that like we don't get like robbed for the equipment and then just like left here?
Yeah. Because this is an expensive ass camera that you're using.
Yeah. I mean, besides that, it's more just the sense of like putting your location out there. And even though like the whole point of this thing is to try and get interaction, it's like it does put a target on you.
Hmm.
I'm not trying to compare us to it because again, 85 subscribers.
Yeah.
But like, when you got like 30K followers, 40K followers, or above, it's scary that like you are being monitored that crazy.
Hmm.
Because that's what got Pop Smoke too. I think was he posted some like some PR bags that like designer companies were sending him,
Hmm.
and they happened to have his location, like his address somewhere,
Hmm.
and the shooters just like came to his house.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely just another sad one for me because I'm just like, damn, like it's worse when it's just a dude like trying to enjoy his day, and like
Yeah. It was so random.
yeah.
Yeah.
When you told me about that, you were like, "Oh, did you hear about PnB Rock?" And I'm like, "What did PnB Rock do? I haven't heard
Yeah,
PnB
yeah,
Rock
yeah.
in forever."
And I was like, oh, you don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer. You know.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say on him personally. Like I already mentioned, I didn't listen to him much, but
Yeah.
you know, it's the fact that it's a common trend among rappers is very saddening. You know, or it's becoming more and more common. And it's just, I don't know. It's sad.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah. We had to go into a death that we're not sad about, and then one that we are sad about.
Yeah.
So it's just a nice transition. You know, Kobe's crossing her shit up in heaven right now. Or actually, that implies that she went to heaven.
yeah, I mean, Kobe was no saint either.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know about his thing?
Not really.
I'll get into that later. We can
Okay.
get into it on the ride back.
Gotcha.
But anyway, I want to talk about Cobra Kai for a second.
Go off, King.
Do you have any inkling about what it's about and stuff?
I know it's like related to Karate Kid, right?
Yes. Do you know which Karate Kid?
The original one.
Okay, just making sure.
No, I thought it was the Jaden Smith one.
When
Never
the fuck is
say
Jackie Chan
never.
gonna get in here?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Rocks.
they're.
You keep talking about it while I play with rocks.
I
It's a
fucking
nice rock.
love this show,
Yeah.
and I know for a fact that you wouldn't.
Look, I know that I can be the pretentious film guy, but I watch my fair share of like shitty TV and movies and stuff. I could try it out. I just haven't seen the original Karate Kid.
That's where the problem lies. I think you should get around to those before you even attempt, because there is so much lore and like everything that happens in the Karate Kid trilogy is the foundation for the show after the fact.
Gotcha.
But goddamn, is it the cheesiest, corny thing I've ever seen, and I just eat it up. I just eat it right up. Num num num.
Yummers. Oh, I hate us.
But-
you. Ugh.
I will say the original Karate Kid is a pretty big reason why I got into martial arts in the first place.
Hmm.
And this show is fucking ridiculously over the top.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you know what the crane kick is, right?
Yeah.
Every season, it feels like they add a new top secret move that no one has heard of
Mm.
to have that sort of same stinger that the crane kick did.
So it's like Dragon Ball for real.
Yeah,
They got a power scale.
like there was one where it was like a fucking breakdancing stall, and then another one where it was like these fucking pressure points that just like numb your arms and legs for a second so you can get a good hit in.
Yeah.
And then this past season, it's like fucking
The Cobra.
The Cobra.
Some Santino Marella shit.
yeah.
Oh. Bah, 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 ah.
Yeah, just right into the solar plexus, just right in the soft part to like stunt, to like fucking stop your breathing for a quick second. That could kill a man. And along with that, just like every fucking character that you could think of that was ever in the movie has made their way into the show. And they're all like 55, 60.
Yeah.
And they are just as powerful as they were in the original. Like, the power scaling is crazy. It's literally anime, like
In real
live
life?
action, yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
And as someone who's never gotten into anime, I can no longer trash anime because I'm basically watching a fucking anime.
Yep.
Like, it's so unbelievably over the top, and I need you to watch it because season 5 just came out. Binged it all in a day, and yeah, it's very 80s. It's very 80s.
Yeah.
The acting isn't particularly great. I'll be honest. I can't pinpoint one particular thing that makes it so special outside of nostalgia and general, like, just 80s action type shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really why it's so charming.
No, definitely. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah.
'Cause, I've been too busy watching. What have I been watching?
If it's not giving you commentary about the political and economic state of the world, you have no reason to care.
Yeah. I need it to fit my leftist agenda, or else I don't like it.
Yeah. There is one character in particular, Johnny, who is like the center of the show, basically.
Hmm.
It's really about him getting his life together, surrounded by this fucking karate war.
Nice.
He's really the heart of the show, and he is so out of touch,
Hmm.
but it's charming.
Gotcha.
You know, because he has like one scene in particular. He has a flip phone, and God, it's gonna sound so ass when you don't see it,
Hmm.
but he has a flip phone or whatever, and he's trying to upgrade so he could, start using like gig apps like an Uber Eats or something, like delivery service, so he could get money.
Yeah.
And he asked this Geek Squad character type guy to come in. He's like, "Get to work, dweeb," or geek, or whatever you identify as. Like he's trying, he's trying.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Or he's trying to get people into his karate dojo. Like he just started accepting women into his dojo. He's like, "Fighting's for men," or whatever. And he's like, "Yeah, guys, girls, anyone can join." Character asks, like, "What about gender fluid people?" And it's like, "Yes, hydration, fluids, important, need that." He cares. He's trying.
I guess, yeah.
I guess.
I guess.
It sounds nowhere near as good as it is when you watch, and I promise you, it's.
Fair enough. No, I'll watch.
Yeah, I really
Eventually.
just don't know why I like it, but I do.
Yeah. It has a lot of hype around it, so you're not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
You're not the only weirdo watching it and enjoying it.
Yeah.
But-
What have you done that's remotely active in the past year?
I have been actively trying to sit through Apple events and not fall asleep. That is what I also did this past week. Was they did the new Apple event.
Oh. Yeah.
It's that time of year where they announce new iPhones. Apple loves to name things or make things that they have shortcomings with and turn it into a feature. Like things that they can't do, they try to like work around it and make it seem like, oh, but it's actually better because we do this instead.
Uh-huh.
So it seems like for the iPhone 14 regular, it is essentially just the iPhone 13 Pro, but marked down a bit. The price is dropped. It doesn't have the same camera, but it has all the same guts. So it's basically just the same phone, but they made it cheaper. Instead of having the Pro, it's now the regular one.
Okay.
So you can basically get my phone right now for like $400 cheaper. That's the point. But then the iPhone 14 Pro, seems like they wanted to do the edge-to-edge surface, and companies have done this before by either having just a hole punch over the camera, or the camera will be hidden underneath the display using a certain type of display technology. Apple seems to have not figured that out yet. So what they did was they made the cutout shorter, and it now floats in the middle, like, of that top part of the screen. It doesn't actually connect like a bezel.
Mm-hmm.
It is a little pill that just floats right there. And I think it actually looks worse on video because you can see like a little hint of the screen on the side of the island. And like I said, instead of making this a shortcoming...
I need to see this. This is just on the Pro?
Yeah, iPhone 14 Pro. Everybody's been calling this a pill shape for a while because it's the picture of it has been leaked. But essentially, they named it the Dynamic Island.
Shut the fuck up.
Right. And apparently a bunch of people kind of giggled when they first announced this. They did. Here's the problem, though. Again, it's a shortcoming because they couldn't figure out how to fix it. So what did they do with it? They turned it into some cute little multitasking feature where, since it uses an OLED panel, that means that instead of a normal screen will light up a pixel and then block it out for black, so it kind of has like this hazy black to it, like a hint of a glow to it. OLED, it just shuts the pixel off, meaning it's just a true black because there's no light coming from it.
Yeah.
So what they did was, with the OLED screen around the dynamic island, they have UI that kind of extends from the little pill shape. So like when you go to Face ID, it pops out like a little black box from there and like a really smooth, cute transition and all that. And it'll pop up the little Face ID logo.
That's nice.
When they're doing music, a little music icon pops out to the side. Or like if you have another app, like a timer going, it pops out a little timer button to the side. So when you're doing something on your phone, you can hold down on that little button, pulls up your music, but in like a small window. They made it into a cool multitasking tool, but it is just like, it's funny how when they can't figure something out, they just try to market it as it's still the best iPhone ever, and it's such a good feature that you wish you would have had. You wish you had the dynamic island. So it was whatever. New AirPods. I don't really know much about it. I think that, because I missed that part of the presentation, but I guess it's new AirPods Max, AirPods Pro, and they have like a new case, I think. That's it.
What?
Like, I think they upgraded some of the stuff, but I think the big feature was it now snaps to the MagSafe chargers, and it has like a little built-in loop for keychains and stuff.
I mean, how much more can you really upgrade them?
Yeah.
Outside of just making the battery last longer.
Yeah. I think that was another thing, battery life.
Yeah. Because I have AirPod Pros now, and those are essentially like perfect. If they could last longer, great. But they get the job done. I like the noise canceling feature. I used it on you earlier. No, I'm kidding.
You did. Essentially, they came out with a new Apple Watch. 2 new Apple Watches. So they have the regular yearly upgrade, just like here's the regular Apple Watch.
Yeah, tell me how to feel.
Yeah. Then they came out with the Apple Watch Ultra, which is essentially like the G-Shock of Apple Watches.
I'm sold.
Yeah. It's kind of solid, actually. I think it only comes with... It's expensive, though. But it's because there's a crazy amount of shit built into it.
I was going to say, what can it do? If it doesn't give me head, I don't care.
Essentially, it's like for people who are like going on a mountain climb and don't want to bring a phone with them, and you can do like GPS, like waypoint tracking and like shit like that. There's a temperature sensor, all sorts of other things. The temperature sensor is also in the new regular Apple Watch, I think, and that's to help like track like ovulation and like period cycles stuff. Because I think that, again, Apple's whole marketing strategy is like, hey, you can trust us with your privacy. Remember when the Boston bombers, like, they found their phone or whatever, and we didn't let the FBI get into their phone?
Okay.
That's because we care about individuals' privacy. And as crazy as that sounds, I get where they're coming from on that. that was a big business move for them to do that. Because as obvious as it should sound, that, yeah, they should just let the FBI into it. Their point was, for their branding, that means that they have to create something that they can get into everybody's iPhone with. And then that breaks all sorts of security issues with that, and that decreases their trust.
Yeah.
And right now, especially with them moving towards like password encryption, Apple Pay, all this kind of stuff, they want to build as much trust with their customers as they can right now, because they are getting so intrusive with their product lineup. So like they kind of have to be like the company you can trust. We don't like Facebook. Facebook, they want to steal all your data. So we added a software feature that lets you turn off data tracking on specific apps. And that fucked up Facebook's ad business. That almost took Snapchat out of business because Snapchat wasn't allowed to use your data if you didn't want them to.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that this is like good or bad. It's just like this is a very clear Apple marketing decision that they made in that time period, and they've really pushed towards it. And that's created good things, and that's also just like weird because now we're just supposed to trust this one company with a lot of our data, and use it as a feature.
Right.
The ovulation tracker, it's nice because after Roe v. Wade, a lot of people were worried about that, period tracker apps that would sell their data, which did happen to some people. This is their workaround where they're like, oh, well, you could just have it built into your Apple Health app and we will never sell your data.
Sick.
It's good. It's a little weird because I'm like, damn, like I have to trust Apple with everything, I guess. But cool.
Yeah, you have to trust Apple with your ovulation.
I have to worry about my ovulation. Me as a man.
Yeah.
This is a me
gotta
problem.
take care of your eggs.
Yeah. No, but giving them credit, it's a cool thing. But this new series, watch with the Ultra Watch or whatever, it's a completely flat screen. It has like an extra bump that comes out over the crown and the button, and it kind of has a lip over the watch face. It has an extra button on the side that you can program to do any action that you want.
Give me head.
Maybe. And there was like a few other things. They added satellite features where if you're out here right now and let's say that, I broke my leg and I can't walk to get help, and I have no service out here, it'll pop up a little screen that tells me how to point my phone to the nearest satellite. And then it'll have you do it. And then when you do it, you can send a text over satellite instead of using data or Wi-Fi.
Gnarly.
Usually you have to have like a big antenna and all sorts of shit, but it's built into the phone now.
Fuck.
And built into the watch. And the big thing is like you generally have to point it at a satellite directly. So them adding the UI that lets you like know where the nearest satellite is kind of cool. So they added a bunch of stuff, but generally I think I'm gonna wait on the next iPhone or maybe even the one after that.
Yeah, every other.
Yeah, because that's the thing is like I got the 12 was a big upgrade, and then the 13 was like a small tweak from the 12. I think that the iPhones have kind of hit a law of diminishing returns type situation where they really have just kind of perfected the iPhone.
Talking about his coloring books.
Yeah, my business degree, the one where we...
His little puzzles and such.
Yeah. The one where we play Minecraft.
Yeah, go on about your paint by number shit.
I colonized the village, and then I made them trade with me. I had to set up better trade agreements because they were asking for far too much. I had to make sure that... Wasn't there, like... I think there was a video where, like, Ben Shapiro was playing Minecraft, and he was just being, like, colonial as fuck. That may be wrong. If it wasn't Ben Shapiro, it was, like, a Ben Shapiro fan. And just the idea of him being, like, a complete... like
Oh,
gentrified, like colonialist is hilarious. It plays like right into the meme of like, oh, these indigenous people, they're not fitting my business strategy well enough. We got to move them out of here.
oh. Hate crimes and Enderman.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yo, when he sets up an Enderman like farm in the end, like it just
That's
hits
gonna be the
different.
most sadistic thing ever.
It hits different because for most people it's like, oh, we're like farming ender pearls.
Yeah.
He's committing genocide. Like,
Yeah.
I just do it because I simply don't like them.
Yeah. He specifically makes sure the ender pearls fall in lava so he gets no use out of him.
Yeah.
My God.
Jesus Christ.
They also just don't die immediately. It's like a slow and painful death. Like he's just yanking them in and out of like
Yeah.
some
He just covers the entire end island with like lava so that if any of them spawn in, there's just no chance.
Yeah. Nothing quick about their deaths. It's just pain.
How did we get to Ben Shapiro playing Minecraft?
Yeah, so the new iPhone.
Yeah, how did we get from there to there? But yeah, it was basically just a small upgrade from, the last year's
that's where we
lineup.
were, yeah. Okay.
And I don't know, it's making me worried because I'm not really in the market to buy new Apple products anytime soon, but I don't know, after I got my iPad and then like the next year they dropped the one with the M1 chip in it, I was pretty sick about that. So
yeah, speaking of, I got a new laptop with that. So
yeah, I just hate. Again, they always will, no matter what, even if it's a small change, they're going to like sell you the next iPhone as like, this is the best iPhone you can have. If you bought the last one, that fucking sucks because this new one is really cool.
yeah.
But in reality,
Motherfuckers still on the iPhone 6. Y'all some troopers.
I saw a tweet yesterday that said like the iPhone XR is the new iPhone 6.
Yeah.
Like the thought of getting like a 10 right now, it's like, damn. Old ass phone, even though it looks the exact same.
Aged, yeah. That's crazy.
It's just weird. It's a weird time we live in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, nothing too crazy with the Apple event. I think I was a little, not underwhelmed, because I don't think I was really expecting too much after they just did the Mac lineup at that last one.
You were whelmed?
Yeah, I was pretty whelmed,
Mm-hmm.
I just think I'm excited more for the computer stuff because that's really what's been changing like super fast pace over the past few years.
Right.
All of the other products, generally speaking, have kind of been sitting in the same spot. So. But yeah, so we went over being drunk and fucked up, and I'm almost 21, so.
Oh ho ho.
Then we could talk about these stories legally. No.
Yeah.
And
we got to get on that Capong game.
talk about that.
Shit, we could do that sober.
Smoking the Queen Lizzy pack.
Mm-hmm.
iPhone and Cobra Kai and slutty outfits. Anything we missed?
Cobra Kai and slutty outfits back to back. Yeah.
It's kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Anything we missed? Cam, you're not here this week again. Actually, I also want to apologize for last week's audio.
Yeah, we fumbled the bag on that one.
Forgot to mention that at the top of the episode, but we're getting to it now. We are so fucking sorry. That shit sounds like
It sounded like our earlier episodes.
We sounded like we recorded on a fucking microwave.
The early on episodes with the voice memos, like that's identical to what it sounded like.
Really?
If you go back to the ones where we had like the lav mics.
Oh, those were shit.
Yeah.
Those were shit.
It was blasted out the ass. Like that shit was bad.
Yeah. So hopefully this week is better. It better be.
Yeah.
And Cam, hope you feel better. I know you said you were feeling sick this week, but you're a trooper, and we miss you again. So,
Definitely.
anything you gotta add before we wrap this up?
And one more thing, as we're doing the little Apple offense.
Great.
We have a new channel. Great, another one, for sure. But I might be posting it on my social media and all that kind of stuff in a nondescript way, just to get people all excited. But essentially, we're just putting the bench warmers over on the new channel, and we're trying to do something different with those. So if you don't like to sit through the full podcast, one, why are you here right now? Two,
Honestly,
yeah.
No.
Two, you're better off going and following that page,
Yeah.
where it'll be more of like a YouTube format, where it'll be a shorter, quicker
Our
segment.
individual discussions.
Yeah.
Like if you want to hear us talk about Queen Lizzy, smoking that Queen Lizzy pack without hearing us talk about our intoxicated stories, you can do that.
Yeah. It'll be a little bit more filtered, more focus for, most people. So you can kind of click on what you want, and it also just breaks it down into segments. I think that sometimes that's easier to consume, especially on YouTube. So, go ahead and subscribe there. We'll have a link probably at the end of this video with the link to the Benchwarmers page.
Right.
So, yeah, meet us there. We'll be posting a couple from this episode, and then we'll probably be posting, or we already have a bunch posted from last week's episode. So,
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I think that's about it.
Cool. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for joining us.
Goodbye.
Damn. you
Stay
just
safe.
Fucking swung at me real quick.
Yeah, it was a bug.
All right. See y'all later.
Goodbye.
No. Okay. Immediately no.